Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture on computer graphics series. In this lecture, we'll be seeing the next algorithm, that is the Z-buffer method algorithm. So this Z-buffer method algorithm is the image space method. Last class we saw backspace detection method which was an object space method. So image space method, I told you that in image space method the detection, visible surface detection, hidden surface elimination will be done on the projected image, that is the projected image on the screen. Okay, so in Z-buffer method algorithm, two buffers are actually used. So first we'll understand what is the term buffer. So buffer is a temporary space in which we store values. Okay, so we store values temporarily. So it is a space in which we store values temporarily. So take this diagram, take this as the x-axis, this as the y-axis, and this as the z-axis. Okay, so take these three objects of having plane x, y, z1, x, y, z2, x, y, z3. So only the z-axis coordinate changes, but the x, y coordinates remains the same. In Z-buffer algorithm, we use two buffer. The first one is the depth buffer, which stores the z value, okay, which is the depth value, and the second is the refresh buffer, which will store the intensity value. Okay, so these two buffers are used in Z-buffer algorithm. So we have two cases actually here. In case one, if you are standing in the positive z axis and looking at the origin, okay, that time the largest z value will be closer to you and the smallest z value will be away from you. Similarly, in case 2, if we observe from the negative z axis and look towards the positive z axis, the smaller value of z will be closer to you, whereas the larger value of z will be away from you. So now let us see how this algorithm works. We generally give importance to the second case. Okay, so the first step what it does is it initializes the values for the two buffers, that is the z buffer, depth buffer and the refresh buffer. So dxy is the initial value of the depth buffer. Okay, it initializes to 0 in case of case 1 and it initializes to z max in case of case 2. That is why it is initializing is this, it is the last value actually. Okay, that is the farthermost value, highest value of z is being assigned to the refresh buffer. Either it be case 1 or case 2, only the intensity of the background color will be stored. The next step is it checks the z value of all these surfaces. Like if we see this diagram, we already saw that only z value changes, isn't it? So let us take the second case. We are in the negative z axis and looking. So this will be the z max. It will compare all the z values of all these surfaces. Why only z value? Because x and y value are going to remain the same. If that z value is greater than d of x comma y, that is the initial value of the depth buffer, then the new value of depth, the value in the depth buffer is replaced by the current z value. Okay, this is in case 1 actually, and the refresh buffer will have the intensity of the surface. In case 2, what happens is if z value is less than the depth buffer value, then the depth buffer value will store the z value. Okay, and in this also the refresh buffer will store the intensity of the surface. So how to find the z value is, we know that this is the plane equation. From this, except the z, we move all the other variables to the right hand side. So we get this equation, that is z equals to minus ax minus by minus d divided by c. But to find this value is more time consuming. So for that what we do is, now we assume that we know the value z at x comma y. Take this figure for example, and let this be a surface. Let this coordinate be x, the coordinates of this point be x comma y, the coordinate of this point be x plus 1 comma y, and the coordinate of this point be x plus 1 comma y minus 1. So let us take x plus 1 as x dash and y minus 1 as y dash. So we will find the value of z value at x plus 1 comma y and x plus 1 comma y minus 1. So for that what we are doing is we are substituting the x plus 1 y value in the z equation, and we get that the new the z value at x plus 1 equals to the z value at xy minus a by c. Okay, so next if we substitute the for the next point, that is x plus 1 comma y minus 1, what we are doing is we are finding the slope. How to find the slope? We know the value of x and y, and we need x dash and y dash. So what we do is we find the slope using the formula m equals to y minus y dash divided by x minus x dash. Okay, so after that what we are doing is we are rewriting this equation in the form of x dash equals to x minus 1 by m. What we are doing is in place of y dash we are substituting y minus 1. We already saw that in the graph. Okay, so while substituting, m becomes 1 divided by x minus x dash. So x dash is x minus 1 by m and y dash equals to y minus 1. So if we substitute these two in the plane equation, we get z y minus 1 equals to z at xy plus a by m plus b whole divided by c. So this is all for z buffer algorithm. So the next one we will see is what is scanline algorithm. So in scanline algorithm is also an image space method. So this is actually an extension of 2D polygon fill algorithm. So in first unit we saw scanline polygon fill, that is there will be a block like this and it will start filling coordinates, and it will take two pairs and fill all the x coordinates between those two pairs. So this algorithm is actually an extension of that. This algorithm actually consists of three tables. One is the edge table, one is the active table, and the last one is the polygon table. What it stores in the edge table is it stores the x value of the scan line, it stores the y max value, it stores the delta x value, that is the m value, and it stores the ID of the polygon. Okay, each polygon will be given an ID. In the active table, all the edges crossed by the scan line is actually stored. Okay, we will see soon what is stored in this active table. Next is the polygon table. In the polygon table, the ID will be given, a particular ID for this polygon will be given, the polygon coefficient will be given, shading inference will be given, whether the polygon, the point inside a polygon is in or out will be given. So what in the, see this is the active edge table, and consider this diagram in which we are seeing that there are two scan lines. Okay, so the scan line 1 is this one, L1, and scan line L2 is this one. So this is the scan line L1, L2. We write all the edges the scan line crosses, that is the scan line crosses AB, then BC, then HE, then EF, and similarly L2 will cross AD, then GH, then BC, then finally FG. Okay, so what it does is it actually check whether the polygon, if the scan line is in which polygon ID. So L1 we have seen it is AB, BC, EH and EF. Okay, so AB is from surface 1, BC is from surface 1, EH is from surface 2, and EF is from surface 2. So these are all separate surfaces. But if we see line 2, AD is in surface 1. Okay, but GH, if you consider, it is in both surface 1 as well as a part of surface 2. Similarly, BC, if you consider, it is a part of surface 1 as well as a part of surface 2, and FG is a part of surface 2. So what happens is the computer will infer that there is an overlap. So when there is an overlap, the computer will find the depth using the scan line. So whichever depth is lesser, that will be considered as visible, and whichever depth is greater, that will be backside. So we have seen that S1 of Z is lesser than S2 of Z. That means S1 of S1 polygon is in front of S2 polygon, and that part will be eliminated actually. So the final result will be like this. Next is the A buffer algorithm. Okay, A buffer algorithm. In A buffer algorithm, the A is denoted by anti-aliased or area averaged or accumulator buffer algorithm. So these are the other names for A buffer algorithm. The main disadvantage of Z buffer algorithm was that it was only applicable for opaque objects. So in this method, this can be applied for opaque, transparent and translucent object also. So this is an extension of the Z buffer algorithm. Why this A buffer algorithm is introduced? Because it wants to reduce the Z buffer algorithm's disadvantage, which is Z buffer algorithm can be only applicable for opaque objects, whereas A buffer algorithm can be used for all type of objects. In A buffer algorithm also there are two fields, depth field and intensity field. So in depth field we have to store only real numbers. So when D is, that is the depth value is less than 0, then multiple surfaces are there. If D is greater than 0, then only single surfaces are there. So we will see what is D less than 0 and D greater than 0 now. So consider this image. Okay, so there is one surface S1, there is a overlapping surface S3 and another surface at behind S1 and S3, which is S2. Okay, so consider this point. Okay, this point is purely on S1. So the D value is greater than 0. So which is a single surface. This point is only on the single surface. Okay. Next, consider this point. Okay. This point is in two surfaces. It is in both in S1 as well as S2. So the D value is negative. That is, it has multiple surfaces. Similarly, this point D value is negative, and then the middle point is also covered by all three surfaces. Then D value is negative. What happens in D value is positive is the intensity, the buffer will store the D value, D greater than or greater than 0 value. So it will calculate the D value and it will store. Okay, what is this D value? Is that we substitute this point x comma y comma z in the plane equation, and we saw that there was a D constant value. So that is actually calculated. It will store that calculated D value and also the intensity of the background. So this is done and it is taken that the entire surface as intersection. So S1 intersection S2 intersection S3 is taken. If the D value is less than 0, okay, if D value is less than 0, then what is there? Then it is a multiple surface. So what it takes as, it takes the buffer as a linked list. So what it stores is, it's in the first buffer the value of D which is less than 0 is stored. Then the second will have a pointer. This pointer will point to another buffer. In the first buffer, the ID of the surface 1 is stored, and in the second space there is another pointer which is pointed to S2. Similarly, S3 will be pointed, and in each and wherever the pointer is there the intensity value is also stored, which is the surface data. So what are all the surface data which is stored here? We will see now. So the surface data which are stored in these areas are the RGB intensity component, the percentage of transparency and percentage of capacity, the depth, the percentage of area coverage, surface rendering parameters, pointer to the next surface. So these all values are stored in the buffer. Okay, so with this we have completed Z buffer algorithm, scanline algorithm and also A buffer algorithm. Thank you.